The rear suspension on the zero-turn mower must be adjusted to accommodate the additional weight of the collection system. Shock the front wheels of the unit to prevent the machine from rolling. Raise the rear of the machine and secure it with jack stands positioned under the bumper of the unit. Depending on the unit, position the jack under the suspension cradle or cross member that ties the suspension arms together, and slowly raise the rear suspension to relieve the pressure on the upper shock mounting bolts. This will require small adjustments to the position of the jack. The shock should move freely on the mounting bolt when the pressure is relieved. Loosen and remove the upper shock mounting hardware and pivot the shock to the position that orients the shock most vertically. Adjust the jack to align the shock assembly to the shock mounting hole. Reinstall the upper shock mounting hardware and tighten it securely. Repeat this process for both sides of the mower. Remove the jack stands from under the machine. Remove the jack from under the suspension cradle or suspension crossmember. Remove the discharge chute, chute mount rod, and mounting hardware and retain them. The discharge chute will need to be reinstalled for operation if the collection system is removed. Remove and retain the chute lock bolt and nut. Remove the deck guard. Save the bolts and washers, as they will be required later. Remove the hardware that secures the deflector plate to the mower deck and remove the plate. Save the deflector plate and hardware. When operating the unit without the collection system installed, a better cutting quality will be experienced if the deflector plate is reinstalled. On the STIHL RZ 552, it is necessary to remove the mower deck belt. This step does not apply to the STIHL RZ 560. To remove the mower deck belt, move the deck to its lowest cutting position. Remove the floor pan to gain access to the mower deck belts. Using a wrench, rotate the idler arm clockwise to relieve mower deck belt tension. If necessary, loosen the jam nut on the carriage bolt and the nut that secures the idler pulley to the mower deck. Remove only the right or shortest mower deck belt from the rear idler pulley and the spindle pulley on the discharge side of the unit. Carefully release the tension. The process to replace the spindle pulley on the STIHL RZ 552 and STIHL RZ 560 is slightly different. This video shows the STIHL RZ 552. To see the differences on the STIHL RZ 560, refer to the setup instructions. Remove the hex nut and spring washer securing the spindle pulley to the spindle shaft on the discharge side of the unit. Use a wrench on the flats of the blade end of the spindle shaft to prevent the shaft from spinning. Save the key. Install the supplied double spindle pulley, the existing key, and the supplied spacer onto the spindle shaft. Install the existing spring washer with the cone facing up. Install the existing hex nut and tighten to 85 to 90 foot-pounds of torque. Use a wrench on the flats of the blade end of the spindle shaft to prevent the shaft from spinning. The mower deck belt removed in Chapter 3 must be reinstalled. This step is not necessary on the STIHL RZ 560. Align the mower deck belt with the V side of the belt in the grooves of the center spindle pulley and the front idler pulley. Rotate the idler arm clockwise to relieve mower deck belt tension. Install the mower deck belt on the lower groove of the double spindle pulley and the rear idler pulley. Make sure that the V side of the belt runs in the grooves of all 4 pulleys. Carefully release the tension. Measure the coil-to-coil length of the right belt tensioning spring. The measurement should equal 6 3/4 of an inch, plus or minus 1/8 of an inch. If not, turn the adjustment nut until the measurement is achieved. Tighten the jam nut and the nut that secures the rear idler pulley to the mower deck. Reinstall the floor pan. The process of installing the spindle pulley guard varies slightly between the STIHL RZ 552 and STIHL RZ 560. For specifics on the STIHL RZ 560, refer to the setup instructions. The lower spindle guard will be installed to the mower deck using the bolts and washers removed in Chapter 2. Install 2 body clips into the holes on top of the lower spindle guard if they are not installed already. Install the top plate to the lower spindle guard and secure with one of the 2 knobs. Retain the second knob for later. To access the spindle pulleys, pivot the top plate out of the way. Before installing the blower to the mower deck, remove the blower hood. Retain the 3 knobs. Use the linch pins to install the blower onto the mower deck. The linch pins fit into the same holes that the chute mount rod was installed. Install the linch pins in the direction shown. The flat side of the belt must contact the flat side of the stationary idler pulley, and the V side of the belt must contact the V groove of the blower pulley and the adjustable idler pulley. Push on the adjustable idler pulley belt keep to move it towards the stationary idler pulley. Install the belt on the mower deck double pulley. Carefully release the tension. Measure the coil-to-coil spring length of the adjustable idler spring. The measurement should equal 6 1/2 inches. If the measurement is not correct, loosen the jam nut on the spring anchor eye bolt. Turn the adjustment nut until a coil-to-coil spring length measurement of 6 1/2 inches is achieved. Tighten the jam nut. This unit is equipped with 3 belt keeps to assist in maintaining the proper position of the blower drive belt. One is located near the blower pulley. The second is located on the stationary idler pulley, and the third on the adjustable idler pulley. If necessary, adjust the position of each belt keep as directed in the setup instructions. Rotate the top plate into place on the guard and secure it using the knob. Place the blower hood onto the blower and secure in place using the 3 knobs. Installation of the 2-bag and 3-bag grass catcher is the same. Attach the catcher mount to the top rear bumper with 2 U-bolts and 4 nylock flange nuts, but do not tighten. Install 2 hex bolts and SAE washers through the catcher mount and the bottom rear bumper. Fasten with 2 nylock flange nuts. Tighten all hardware to 20 foot-pounds of torque. Position the mount posts onto the catcher mount so that the small upper tubes face towards the center of the machine. Install the hitch pins into the holes in the catcher mount and mount posts. Lock the hitch pins with the hairpin clips. Fasten the grass catcher frame to the mount posts with 2 hex bolts, flat washers, and nylock flange nuts. Install the hardware so that it faces towards the center of the unit. Tighten the hardware to 50 foot-pounds of torque. Position the grass catcher cover on the grass catcher frame. Install a bolt through each side of the grass catcher cover and grass catcher frame. Fasten with a washer and nylock flange nut. Install the hardware so that it faces towards the center of the unit, but do not over-tighten. With the grass catcher cover open, install the grass catcher inlet from the inside of the cover until the channel snaps into the opening and the inlet rotates freely. Install the bolt through a washer, the grass catcher cover latch, the small spacer, and a second washer. Install a fender washer onto the bolt stud on the grass catcher frame. Align the slot in the grass catcher cover latch with the bolt stud. Then, install the bolt through the grass catcher cover and fasten with a washer and a nylock flange nut. Install a second fender washer and the hex lock nut onto the bolt stud and tighten it so that 2 threads show through the end of the nut. Install the 2 rubber caps on the ends of each bag frame. Install the grass bag frame into each bag so that the end with the 2 rubber caps is away from the solid back and the opening in the top of the grass bag. Slide the grass bags into the frame rails of the grass catcher frame. Ensure that the mower deck is set in the lowest cutting position. Install the discharge tube onto the blower and secure it with a clamp. At least 2 bands must cover the outlet of the blower. If necessary, cut the discharge tube to the proper length so that it will fit properly between the blower and the grass catcher. When installed, at least 2 bands of the discharge tube must cover the grass catcher inlet. The discharge tube must be as straight as possible from the blower to the grass catcher to help prevent grass clumping. Install the discharge tube onto the grass catcher inlet and secure it with a clamp. Install the weight mount onto the front of the unit and secure with the hardware. Tighten to 50 foot-pounds of torque. Install the counterweights in the mount and secure with the retaining pin and 2 hairpin clips. Be sure to reinstall the spark plug wires and remove the chocks from the front wheels before operation of the mower.